Hey guys, I've got a request from a friend today, actually a couple days ago, and she wanted to know a bit more about the K-31. She had heard me talk a lot about it in the past, and so I thought, it's still fresh in my head shooting it the other day. I may as well talk about it. So the K-31, in my 2-minute rundown, I had some inaccurate information. It was kind of early days for everything, but K-31s were made by Waffenfabrik in Switzerland. So they were made for the Swiss government, basically by the Swiss government. They were designed in the 1930s, and they're really an evolution of the K-11 design, or going back as far as 1889, the Schmidt-Rubin design. Now it is a different action. It's a shorter action than the K-11, but it's kind of the same concept. Instead, you have the locking lugs in different places. I haven't had too much experience with the K-11 design, so I'm not really going to speak much to it. But I will say, for $350, I'm seeing these now for $400. They're still a penny pincher, if you ask me, even at $800. You are getting a fantastic rifle for a really, really low price. These things are great. Extremely accurate rifles. As you saw in my previous video, and I'm pretty sure like anything that was a flyer was me and not this gun. So as you've seen in the previous video too, it is a straight pull rifle. So let's just make sure everything's nice and empty. Empty magazine. The magazine is a 6-shot detachable box magazine. It shoots 7.5 by 55. I have a piece of brass right here, and it's I would say comparable to the 308. Maybe a little tad bit more powerful just because there's a bit more room in the case. But otherwise, that 7.5 is basically 7.62. Like my reloads, I shoot 7.62. And it's fine. And decent accuracy too. Now, removal of the bolt is fairly easy. When we get closer to it, I'll show you. But it's this lever right here. So to open the bolt, that's all you got to do. Just pull on it. You kind of got to pull sharply. It's not really something you can be ginger with. What it does is you'll see some numbers when we come in close that'll actually turn. This shroud here, which is basically the bolt, the part of the bolt that locks, that's a sleeve over everything else, will actually spin and unlock the lugs and allow you to pull the rest back. So there's actually 2 stages to it. There's the first stage where it turns, and second stage where you pull back and then go forward. So that's how that works. So why don't we get the camera around and actually take a closer look at this rifle. Okay, some key points about this rifle. First, the rear sight. Let's get it in nice and close here and see if this bad boy will focus. The rear sight is your classic graduated sight for most European military rifles. It's not really anything special. It's graduated out to 1,500 meters. And the front sight is fairly typical as well. It can be drifted back and forth, which makes it drift from the left and the right. This one obviously seems pretty zeroed. I never had to really play with it. Disassembly is really easy. First step, of course, is remove the magazine, make sure everything's empty. Remove the bolt, make sure that's empty. As you can see, down in there, nothing in the chamber. So you have this lever right here. Press down with your thumb and pull this straight out. All that does is takes this little piece that locks in and drops it down. Makes it come right out. It's real simple. And with that, it's pretty much the most disassembly you would want to do for the purposes of cleaning. I'm not really going to go into the guts of this just because it's not really anything complicated or fancy. Trigger operates on the sear, on the firing pin right here, the striker. This is actually the part of the striker. This is the cocking piece. So now I want to go in and show you how this bolt works. The way this bolt works is you have this camming surface right here that this arm goes into. And what'll happen, you gotta bring it over into the safe position for this. And what it does is the arm, as it turns back, this is in the locked position. Like I said, you can see the serial numbers would be facing up out of the receiver. And as the gun cocks, I got to get it back in the cocked position. As the gun cocks, this would all turn. It's hard to do outside of the rifle. But this arm, as you pull back, spins this whole camming surface, or this whole sleeve here. And at the same time would be pulling back on the firing pin. So it would cock it. Now, disassembly is fairly easy. You get it into this position, you lift up, pull forward, then take this into the safe position, and you gotta hold this in place. This is your bolt head, and everything should come apart. So everything is nicely greased. I try to keep this one clean. This is my, next to my US Krag, this is my main target rifle. So to reassemble, it's fairly easy. Twist and line up. My phone just went off. Take this back in here. Sorry for not having it centered. Pull back until this will lock in. You see it drop. Hold on, let me do that again. Okay. So I'm holding it like this. Press down on here as you pull back the cocking piece, and you saw it drop right there. That's your bolt reassembled. Putting it back in the rifle is fairly easy. All you have to do, take the bolt, put it in there, and your rifle is reassembled. So watch those serial numbers. See, they spin. That's the bolt spinning. And what that does is it unlocks these lugs from the receiver up here. So let me close it, watch again, and go back into place. If you guys enjoyed watching the video, go ahead and press like. Maybe if you like all my videos, press subscribe. And just, remember, a good gun doesn't have to cost a pretty penny.